Good evening and live from Banjul, this is GRTS News at 2000 hours with me, Winifred Nicole. In the headlines this evening, the Commonwealth Observer Group, led by former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo, arrives in the Gambia ahead of the December 4th presidential election. Political campaigns ahead of Saturday's presidential election by 6 presidential candidates gain momentum across the metropolis, with aspirants holding last day's campaign for votes. Vice President Dr. Aissatou Toure participates in the 18th International Inter-Ministerial Conference on South-South Cooperation on Population and Development. The Gambia Red Cross Society inaugurates a new COVID-19 variants are the headlines. We begin this edition of the bulletin with the arrival of the Commonwealth Observer Group to the Gambia. Sanjo arrived in Banjul on Saturday. At the invitation of the Independent Electoral Commission, a 9-member Commonwealth Observer Group comprised Bani, former Minister of Interior Ghana, Affairs Commission Malawi, Hendrik Gapi, former Chairperson, Electoral Commission Syphilis, Executive Editor of the Nasu Guardian, the Bahamas, Crispin Kahiru, Commissioner, Uganda. Human Observer Group will represent the 54 Commonwealth member states in the Gambia and will engage stakeholder briefings with political parties. The mandate of the Commonwealth Observer Group is to observe and evaluate the pre-election, consider whether conditions exist for a credible, transparent and inclusive election, including administration of the electoral process has been transparent and whether the rule of law has been adhered to. After the elections, the group will issue a report and observe the post-election period to then assures all political players and the electorate of their continue our special campaign coverage on the 6th Presidential National People's Party-led coalition and incumbent presidential candidate, His Excellency. The Gambian leader described it as baseless propaganda. Town and Budunka Kunda in the Kanifing municipality. Mamadou Jallo picks up the rest of.
Now enters its final week, with candidates battling out in the oven. At Ibo Town, the discourse centered on the development. With such optimism, they pledged to massively vote for him, ahead of his only unbearable. The constituency chairman, as the only viable candidate who can address the problems of the people of the Kanifing municipality, given his already enviable ends, claiming that they do not offer anything new to the people, as opposed to Barrow, who symbolizes peace and development. He therefore warned against voting for the opposition. The incumbent expressed solidarity with the communities of Joshua, give him another 5-year mandate to construct the roads and drainage system in Ibo Town. The next 5 years, President Barrow added, will prove pivotal in the Gambia's quest to attain sustainable development, as he plans to replicate the Banjul project in Serekunda. He appealed to his supporters to maintain peace and ignore provocations, saying his campaign caravan to Bundung, where an equally impressive crowd received him amidst great fanfare. The rally was also addressed by a dozen speakers, who all predicted a landslide victory for the NPP-led coalition. The youth and women vote is expected to make the difference in this constituency, where calls were. The incumbent revealed plans to prioritize their welfare through job creation, skills and vocational training, and entrepreneurship development to minimize irregular migration to Europe, dismissing it as baseless propaganda used by his opponents to discredit him and his administration. President Barrow finally urged the youth to look inwards and take advantage of the numerous opportunities provided by his government. He also expressed satisfaction with the turnout, saying it has emboldened his confidence that victory is certain on December 4th. The campaign continues. Mamadou Jallo.
Election campaign in the Greater Banjul area backed by thousands of party lot.
To the United Democratic Party, a flow of ambience for Gambia for all, Bakari Bunja Dabo, lawyer Usainu Dabo, as a visionary leader, was the prophet. He noted that the Gambia was an envy of the sub.
njëkka ci do ko kendora ci buga rew bi ak liggéey Ousseynou mu ngi liggéey private professional ba masa ay vision soto pour Gambia soto ye la jamoje be nga xam ne kii fu place min wala kam da ngay yaga di woralu lek ci ko xam ne tamit maya ay bala fa soto miskino
in promoting the cause of nationalism.
And we are proud and we will share our power with all our education. I hope you understand English. We'll be the next president of the Gambia.
Healthcare delivery as well as unemployment.
Women, please. It's time for change. Go to Banjul Hospital and they sell you wheelchairs that should be donated to you. We under the poverty line. The police live on credit. They get paid, they have no money.
Fight and rule should not be encouraged in the country, saying that Gambia is one family. Speakers, including others, lamented on the lack of basic amenities in the country. Babu Cham, GRTS.
In Jiboro, Marakisa, Makumbaya and Birkama in the West Coast region, as political aspects, and the reports that the people of the area are pledging their allegiance to the GDC party leader.
Election was followed by several meetings in the West Coast region. In Basuri Kuta, Bamusa Jata told the youth of Combo East to unite for Mama Kande, the leader of the GDC-led coalition. By Farmer Jaju, the GDC chairman for Combo is to manipulate them into doing so. Speaking on behalf of the women of Combo East, support from Mama Kande to help them fix to Birkama 4 lessons, the school lunch, and fund deserve our votes and not the government, said Yaya Sanyang, who pledged their support to Mama Kande. Former chief of Combo, a private citizen who spent his money to better humanity, will make the country paradise if trusted with doing for them. It's a desperate government because that question should be theirs as custodians of public funds, which are expected to bring back to the sense of the area, said only the GDC party matters to them in the coming election and would vote massively for Mama Kande. In a strong voice, Sajo Jalo of Biri governance. The next 5 years will be tougher, said Sajo, if the political landscape remains the same. And vote wisely. Mama Kande also said the GDC expect the IEC to use the electoral laws to buy Nina Barimansila. Munatina, Lina, Mteko Gambia la Yanuta, Aladana Alayadina, Ni Gambia la Cairo. Anin Gambia la nyatota wo tente la bulokono Mansula para.
And Secretary General of the People Democratic Organization for Independence and Socialism, PDOIS, yesterday continued his campaign in Suncho Alaji in the West Coast region. The PDOIS presidential candidate, Honorable Halifa Sallah, and basic social amenities if elected into office on December 4th, while our senior correspondent Yoroja.
Speaking in Suncho Alaji on Sunday evening, Honorable Sallah warned that the Gambia is at a 2 roads intersection where one of the roads leads to development. Falling in that trap is why voting for a system change in this year's election. He promised to make the Gambia an example in the world in 5 years if voted into lives and livelihood of Gambians. Establish a cooperative state that provides services to all and render protection for all, of a destiny free from ignorance, injustice and poverty. He further promised to improve the health sector, women and youth empowerment, as well as infrastructural development of the massively, saying this year's election will mark a new turning point in the democratization process of the country. The leaders of All People's Party and Youth for Change movement, Dr. Ibrahim Jang and Alhaji Mamadi Kurang, respectively, is in the area. Several other speakers assured the leader of the PDOS-led coalition of their unflinching support and loyalty to brief the media on their campaign activities in provincial Gambia, describing it as successful. His over 3 decades career as a politician.
National Unity Party, NUP, which began the second leg of their political story, Lamin Kerawan, Willingara and Sukuta in the West Coast region, while their campaign trail bridge with the aim of providing good quality healthcare services in the hospitals. Moving on with the campaign trail of Team Tona Bundung on Saturday with a meeting in Bakau yesterday. As Ibrahim Jallo reports, the only
Forward to support. Yeah, everybody support. Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
The Sobea team over the weekend met the people of Banjul in a roadshow affair, calling on electorate implemented if elected president. Mr. Fall and team drove out of including one Usman Ba, said they have confidence in Mr. Fall and will
on the 5th of December, Mr. Fall done on the State House.
Mr. Fung in the Kanifi municipality for a similar engagement with
what is the cost of the
On Sunday, Mr. Fall addressed a mass rally in Bakau.
Importance bi amon ako kumaya membe kananu nje di janga different façon yi garab ako e kana karangola je me yalon ko yilo sifa di janga different façon yi flowers ako flower njeriñ gi lolu am ako kumaya membe wala no moy dafa prepare xale bi for science education in the field ako nunto Sénégal sa suñ bëggé gis yi fi la ñoo ñew din Sénégal la tañu béngol jëlé kana na Gambia banko ko fi lañ amone everything ako abu ko
have been abandoned, paving way for a heavy dependence on imported rice.
Produce all the rice we need for our sustenance.
He also argued that the country's shallow. GRTS News.
Well, let's now take our first commercial break. We will be back with more news right after. Do stay.
$5. With the AfriCell SMS Express service, you can send 250 SMSs for $5 only. All you need to do is send SU.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Double the data, double the fun. Only on AfriMoney.
Buzz Bundle. To enjoy the Buzz Bundle on at $50. There's more. Just dial *777# to find out.
All bundles are valid for 7 days.
December karotili nani 2020 dammalu tema ba fala ko di interparty committee be Gambia dingolu dani la anasi la lube ka kairo sabatindi to mome nyinkarte fayo be kele ka bula sartolu noma men yalon ko independent electoral commission ye carte fay sartolu menu landi menu be tamala jennin carte fayo nimba kono ani nabotala ni la carte o fay du kare sey suwo kono yete la may result sol la me yalon ko IEC be wala dantela meni be man saya sira nyino la anin afasa balu tarwona carte tarlaje tumawtuma yakala mutako mobe kuriyale ke kam me yalon ko anin luwal ni saratolu manta men si fitino wuluno banko kan fo pati nyaton ko lo miti bang fondum ye hamole soto pour kalo kake president ka man saya ni nyimbanko kan waran hana fasa la balu fere ke yenyu ndombo ko mandi katabake 21-99930 me yalon ko interparty committee ye wala londe network adu hanifeng ite wala jola alikana nyina mbeye den ka kairo sabatindi banko kan kilimaya kilingo kono ka fata fitinoma anin kuma kan jawol meni yenyin kibaro sindalma wala mu interparty committee ti Gambia IPC menu bulobe koto ka fasa kanyin kibaro kuma fintindaliye wala National Democratic Institute for International Affairs NDI and in the United Nations Development Program UNDP.
15th International Interministerial Conference on South-South Cooperation on Papua South-South Cooperation for Attaining ICPD and the Agenda 2030. Dr. Ture also spoke at length on this and development. Here is more.
The Gambia has realized that there is a huge potential for perennially compounding problems that may seem insurmountable to success through provision of solutions associated with population. COVID-19 pandemic has strengthened these achievements. The public health crisis in addition to overstretching and to regroup, reassess, and reprioritize development, mainly to fight the deadly virus. The government of the Gambia, under the leadership of President Adama Barrow, has given priority to, has guided this political will. The recent Demographic and Health Survey, CPD, Program of Action, and the SDGs, SDG 3 in particular. According to this report, significant progress has been made on family planning and maternal mortality. Male participation is critical in improving maternal health. The ministry is reforming the structure of our labor department of two key general hospitals, that's the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital and Carnifing, to provide room for male participation during the pregnancy and delivery of their partners. Sexual and gender-based violence and female genital mutilation for training in GBV and how to manage GBV cases. Ex-circumcisers were also supported with a livelihood as a substitute to cutting girls for a fee child in the communities. The Gambia would continue to ensure that all legislations that discriminate against women and girls, including sex and rights. I am happy to report that the government of the Gambia, through the NPCS, has developed a new National Population Policy Development Plan 2018 to 2022 as a critical enabler under the leadership of President Adama Barrow. The government of the Gambia will continue to embrace and cherish the South and all member countries of the bloc for this long-standing fruitful cooperation in the interests of the sustainable socio-economic advancements of countries. Without doubt, the Gambia...
Well, let's now take our second break. International news is up next. Don't go away.
Is the Gambia's certified presidential, parliamentary, local government elections and by-election. Marble Gambia has a user-friendly interface and does map to know which candidate is winning in every constituency. Luckily, Marble Gambia allows its users to receive live certified election results on election day. Download Marble Gambia today on App Store and Play Store and receive election results at your fingertip. This is brought to you by Gambia Participates and with support from National Endowment for Democracy and International Republican Institute.
The Gambia goes to the polls on December 4th, 2021 to elect a president who will steer the affairs of the country for the next 5 years. As the country prepares for this spirited national exercise, the national requirement as enshrined in Section 46 of the 1997 Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, and voting a civic duty which every eligible patriotic citizen should. Politicians embark on campaign trails across the length and breadth of the country, canvassing for votes. The NCCE reminds the public that political participation and refrain from the use of abusive language, hate speech, provocative actions, intimidation, thuggery and physical confrontation at all times, as these contravene the laws of the Gambia. The general public is in stability throughout the process. Our collective desire for accelerated socio-economic growth and development could only be achieved in an atmosphere of peace and trust. Every vote is important in an election, as each can make a difference, and as customary, counting shall be on the National Council for Civic Education with support from the United Nations Development Programme.
Well, welcome. Then earlier COVID-19. The Omicron COVID-19 variant, first identified in South Africa, has spread to at least 12 other countries, prompting several nations to step up containment measures. The Omicron variant is now a new strain is responsible for the surge in deaths across Europe, but scientists say the variant is. Well, time now to take a look at our main stories once again before we take leave of you. The Commonwealth Observer Group, led by former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo, has arrived in the Gambia ahead of the December 4th presidential election, with aspirants holding last day's campaign for votes. Vice President Dr. Aissatou Touré has participated in the 18th International Interministerial Conference on South-South Cooperation on Population and Village in Fonyi, West Coast region. In the internationals, a new COVID-19 variant, Omicron. Well, viewers, that was all we had time for in this edition of the news at 2000 hours. But do join me again